Chapter 20, Short Stories for Short People. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Penny Coons. Short Stories for Short People by Alicia, Stuart, Aspinwall. Chapter 20, Red Boots. One morning, not long ago, a pair of little red boots were placed in the window of a large shoe shop in Boston. They were very pretty, and they knew it, being, if the truth must be told, somewhat vain, although at bottom they were good little soles. They were placed in the middle of the window on a glass shelf, and the shoeman very thoughtfully put them between two mirrors, so they could constantly see themselves. After looking all about them, they said, for being lace boots, they had tongues, "We are surely far more beautiful than any shoes here." "That may be, but it is better to be of some use in the world than to be merely beautiful," said a pair of stout, common-sense walking boots from the lower shelf. But he added heartily, "We are very glad to welcome you here in our midst, little red boots." And all the other shoes squeaked with their approval. "Yes," continued he, "and not only do we bid you welcome, but I propose that tonight we give a ball in your honor, for 'tis seldom that such a beautiful pair of boots comes to this window." At this the boots grew redder than ever with delight, and all in the window expressed pleasure, particularly the dancing shoes, of which there were many. "And where will we get your music?" said the little red boots. All laughed at this. "Look," said one, pointing to a broad band of brass, which went directly across the window, bearing the name of the owner of the shop. "What is that?" "A brass band," said Red Boots. "And what better music could one want than that?" said the other. After it grew dark, and the shop was closed, and all were quiet in the streets, the shoe ball began. The brass band played, the shoe horns blew, and all the shoes squeaked. They were very grateful, making but few mistakes, for the common-sense pair led them. And so they merely danced till morning, and in the morning a lady and her little son entered the shop. "I want some red lace boots for my boy," she said, and a man tried on those in the window, which proved to be a perfect fit. "Now, if they match these stockings, I will take them," said the lady, opening a parcel she carried and displayed a pair of lovely red silk stockings. The boots were a little lighter than the stockings, but the lady, being much pleased with them, took them in spite of this. They first sang good-bye to all their friends in the window. 2 days after, the red boots and stockings were worn for the first time, and their 4-year-old master Robert was very proud of them. The stockings were not very polite to the boots, saying, "You are not nearly as pretty a color as we, for you are too light." Now the boots had been taught never to answer rudely, so they said simply, "Yes, stockings, you are a prettier color than we." This answer was so kind and polite, the stockings were ashamed, and ever after were very friendly. In a few days the stockings were washed, and when they were sent upstairs again, they were so changed that the boots scarcely knew them. They were now much lighter, and they were streaked too, a light and dark red. "Oh dear," they sighed, "we are carelessly washed, and the color ran." "Where?" said the boots. "Away." "And why didn't you run after it?" "We couldn't." "Why?" "Boots, you ask too many questions. Perhaps I do, but you must remember that I have 2 tongues." "That is true. I had forgotten," said the stockings. Several weeks passed, and the boots and stockings grew old together. Their master Robert was a good little fellow, and the shoes were fond of him, and went everywhere with him. And hear now what they did for him. Robert was playing in the yard before his house one day, when a hand organ man appeared. He looked first at the child, and then at all the windows in the house, but no one was in sight. "Has oo got a monkey with you?" said Robert. "No," said the man, "but I have 3 at home, and if you will come with me, I will show them to you." And Robert, quite forgetting that his mamma had told him never, never go away with any stranger, followed the man. "Stop! Stop!" said the boots, but the little boy, not understanding the shoe language, only heard squeak, squeakity, squeak. On and on they went, till poor Robert began to cry, but the man, seizing him by his hand, hurried him on till they came to his home. Such a wretched home! He gave Robert a crust of bread, and taking off his coat and hat and boots, told him to lie down and go to sleep, and the poor child, tired, homesick, did so, crying for his papa and mamma. Meanwhile his father and mother, finding that he was lost, went at once to the police station. "We have lost our little boy," said they. "He had long yellow curls, and he wore a black hat and coat, and red boots and stockings." "I'm glad he did," said the policeman, "for as most boys wear black ones, somebody will be sure to have noticed his red ones, and we can more easily trace him." And so it proved, for many people had seen a hand-organ man, with him a crying boy, and they had all noticed the red boots. At last they traced him to the very house and knocked on the door, but the hand-organ man suspected who it was, and taking up the sleeping child, put him in another room and locked the door. Then, opening his house door, he asked the policeman and the lady and gentleman what they wanted. "The child you stole," said the policeman sternly, and the wicked man said he knew nothing about any stolen child. Just then Robert's mamma, who had been looking all about the room, hoping to find her darling, suddenly gave a cry of delight. In the corner she had seen what? 2 little red boots, and of course she knew that her boy was not far away. The policeman now made the bad man unlock the other door, and Robert was soon in his mother's arms. "Good little red boots, dear little red boots," she said, "but for you I might never have found my darling boy. I shall not throw you away, but will keep you forever." And although many years have passed since then, and Robert is now a very big boy, there is upstairs a small box, and in it are 2 tiny worn red boots. Ask Robert to show them to you when you see him. End of chapter 20. Recorded by Penny Coons. pennycoons.com, 12 June 2015.